What up? What's happening, mediocre people of YouTube? So first up, let me try to get you guys set up. Taurus 9mm today. And you know what? That was a good purchase, that little Taurus. I'll try to wipe the camera off. How we doing? A little bit better. That Taurus 9mm G3X or GC3X or something like that. That was a good purchase. It was it wasn't expensive by no means, but it's a very nice firearm. It's extremely accurate. And I have 2 magazines of stock. Well, actually, I have 3 magazines. The stock one is 15. The extended one, well, it's not extended, it's just a different type of magazine, is 17. And then, of course, I have a 30-round extended mag for when I go to the range and whatnot. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm going to do this one time because he needs attention. He is just screaming for attention right now. And every once in a while, I give him a little pat on the head, because he wants people to know he's around. He would love to get more views and stuff like that. But so let me tell you something. Dave is an idiot. Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. And he speaks on these subjects like he's the authority on it, and he's just not. There's not too many people who understand the way I do what an idiot Dave is. Elmo B understands. He gets it. And Wally understands it. But Dave's an idiot. Don't listen to Dave. Dave is going to give you bad information. Dave is fat, and lazy, and ugly, and nasty. He's one of those vicious Democrat personalities. Very vicious. Always has to insult people, and that's how they get through life, by insulting other people and just, claiming, crimes, and, that's what these Democrats do nowadays, They can't beat you, so they just, try to run you down because they have no argument. But, now, once again, Dave's on my channel. And this is not the first time. He's been on there a lot. This is just, I decided to give him some attention today. He was on my channel telling me that I'm wrong about some Randy Rhoads information I had given out. And I'm just not. You guys know I'm a huge Randy Rhoads fan. Huge Jakey Lee fan too, but huge Ozzy fan. But Randy Rhoads is what turned me on to music. He's the guy that got me to pick up a guitar. Love me some Randy Rhoads. Now look, I don't put out information about Randy Rhoads because I think I'm smart or something. The information that I put out that I find that is interesting it's a fact, and you don't have to go much further than Bob Daisley's book, and I keep promoting it. Bob Daisley's book, For Fact's Sake. You don't have to go much further than that. It is facts, and we know that because he kept a diary every day of what they did and how they did it and when they did it in the studio. I would think Rudy Sarzo would pretty much know what's going on, even though, no, he was not part of the recordings of Blizzard and Diary. He was in there on the tour because they decided to fire Bob. That was probably the first firing of Bob. And Bob would have many, many more firings to come, and he would get screwed out of many, many more royalties to come. But, these interesting facts that I've put out about Randy Rhoads that I've heard very little about, like I said, it's not because I think I'm smart. It's because I think it's interesting, and I think people should know about it. And, that's it, you can sit and try to tell me that, Max Norman said this and that and the other, and that's great, Max Norman was the engineer for those albums, and, good chance Max Norman was getting paid to say what he said, you know. And no, hey, I'm not knocking him. I mean, look, it's hard to make a living in the music business. The music business is not a business that is easy to make a living in. So, you know, when a company comes to you and says, hey, will you say this and that and the other, and we'll give you X amount of dollars, heck yeah, you know, you do it a lot of times, you know. That's why we talk about people sellouts and stuff like that. Who, you know, there's certain people in the music business and theater business they'll say anything for a dime, you know, or they'll do anything for a dime. That's what a sellout is. Like the band Metallica, for very good example of complete sellout. You know, that band was great, man. When they first started off with Kill 'Em All and Masters and Ride the Lightning was fantastic, you know. And then came along whatever it was. I'm trying to see what's going on up here. There's a police situation up here. You know, and things changed. And Metallica just, you know, they started doing what they, you know, a lot of those people do is just they'll say and do anything for a dime, you know, and that's what they did. And hey, you know, you can say what you want about them. I mean, I'm not gonna knock them. All I'm saying is I like the band a lot better before And Justice for All. That's what I'm saying. I really don't. I listened to the Black Album, and I don't even know what albums they produced after that. I have no idea. So there's that. You know, and again, when it comes to the amplifier stuff that Dave likes to challenge me on and lose every time, you know, hey, listen, I am not the be-all, end-all authority on amplifiers, on tube amplifiers. Not even close. There are guys out there who are 1,000 times better than I am. Okay? I just like this stuff, and I love learning it. I've been learning it, and I just, it's like I said, it's a time in my life where I'm really loving absorbing this information and learning how to do this stuff, and, you know, good for me. So, you know, Dave, on the other hand, the subjects he speaks on, you know, Dave likes to present himself as the authority on it. And he gives out 9 times out of 10, probably closer to 10 times out of 10, he gives out bad information. And he doesn't even know it. It's not even really his fault, because it's a matter of IQ, and it's a matter of absorbing information. And I think I've said this before. I have to believe that Dave had a really hard time in school, and whatever school he went to in Florida, I have to believe he had a really hard time getting a degree, because he just you know, he cannot read a comment and absorb that information. He cannot watch a video and absorb what you're trying to say. You know, he'll watch a video and then leave a comment that has nothing to do with anything, and then, like, tell you what an asshole you are on top of it. It's like, dude, what are you even talking about, you know? And it's not just me. I mean, look, if it were just me, then fuck me, right? But look, Nihilus went through it with him and went down the rat hole with him. And many people have gone down the rat hole with Dave. And then they realize that, look, he's a stupid person. He's not capable of learning on the same level as most people. He's stupid. Okay? You don't argue with stupid people. Why? Because they will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience every single time. Because their entire life has consisted of life experience and stupidity. Unlike most people go through life, the person with the average IQ, they go through life and they absorb things, and, you know, they have general life experience of a average person. Dave does not. Dave has general life experience of a stupid person who cannot absorb information that is in front of him. And he's, like I said, and then he's just a nasty person too, because he will attack you, and he'll get real vile and nasty, because that's all he has, right? I mean, because he also subscribes to the Democrat Party. Remember, he claimed one time that he was a John McCain Democrat. Well, for starters, John McCain wasn't a Democrat. And to leave things off, you're trying not to claim the Democrat Party while walking the party line, right? And you know me, I'm not walking any party's line. I'm walking with the guy that can get shit done. And right now, that man is President Trump. He is getting shit done. Whether he's getting shit done the right way or not remains to be seen. I think that President Trump is on the right track. I fear for certain things. I love that he wants to bring automotive assembly and production back here to the United States. Why are we producing our American cars and parts in other countries? Well, why do you think? It's cheaper, right? But I love that he wants to bring manufacturing of American vehicles back to America. Toyota figured this out decades ago. You go down into southern Indiana and into some of the other southern states, you will see massive Toyota plants, and they pay very well, apparently. I've done strip outs at those plants, and this is many, many years ago. Oh God, maybe close to 20 years ago. And my understanding was that a line worker there was making like 90 grand a year, which is pretty damn good for working on the assembly line, right? I mean, shit, 90 grand a year to work on the assembly line. Again, you don't need much intelligence to do it. Dave could be an assembly line worker at Toyota, probably, maybe, I don't know. But that's what assembly line work is for. It's for unskilled labor, right? And then they have skilled trades and whatnot. Now, I'm not to say assembly line workers aren't skilled, because some of them are very skilled and take great pride in what they do, and they're usually promoted up the ranks to supervise and do other things besides turn a nut for a living. But there's nothing wrong with turning a nut or a bolt either, because we need people to turn the nuts and bolts to assemble vehicles. Back to what my fear is when it comes to that, is that I personally profited highly off the liquidation of the automotive plants. I tore down literally all of the automotive plants in the state of Michigan. I can't even count how many auto plants I've tore down in the state of Michigan, in the state of Ohio, Kentucky. It was literally a liquidation of the auto industry, and nobody was paying attention. But I'll tell you what, the demolition companies were making big money, man. Big money. There was big money in tearing down these plants, especially before the auto plants caught on to how much they were making on the iron and the precious metals and whatnot. So it's going to take some time to build these factories again, and that's my fear, is it's going to take some time to build these factories again. Then again, we have lots of factories that are just sitting empty. There's no question about that. Lots and lots of factories that have been sitting empty for many years. It's Friday. Guitar Center, dumpster on Fridays. Okay, make a note of that. All right, Dave, you're a fat, ugly moron, and that's it. That's all you get from me. Peace out.